welcome to episode 12 of Divine Superconductor Radio. I'm your host, Matt Blackburn, and I am shocked how fast time is moving. Already the 12th episode. Really love the feedback that you guys are giving me. I've been getting rave reviews of a lot of my episodes. Dr. Cass Ingram, Josh Rubin, Adam Bergstrom. All my guests have been awesome, but it's really cool to have your guys' support and encouragement and feedback. So in this episode, I'm interviewing Natalie Phelps of Litter Robot, and it's pretty short. It's only 20 minutes, and we just go through the basics of this amazing litter box. I was raised with 2 cats, strays, and I've had cats in my life the whole time, and I love them. You know, I love dogs too, but I have a special attachment to cats. And scooping is a full-time job with the litter box. And unless you own a cat, you don't really know that. But it's a big deal. It's a lot of time. It's stinky. It's just a big process. So the litter robot's super cool because you never have to scoop again in your life. And just once a week, if it's one cat, you just pull out the tray, switch it out to biodegradable bag, throw it in the trash, and that's it. It's all automatic. So it's a lot easier to leave the house. You don't have to stress about finding a sitter, someone to come and scoop it, which they probably don't want to do. So it's a really, really cool technology, and I will actually answer at the end of this a few Q&A questions that you guys sent me. So enjoy. All right, hello. I'm here with Natalie Phelps from Litter Robot. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming on. I'm blown away by this technology. I was actually raised with 2 stray cats and saw my parents, constantly scooping. And then eventually, a couple years ago, I got my first cat, and it's a labor of love. It's probably easier to have a dog and just have him poop outside, but to have a cat that's constantly filling up this box, it really takes up a lot of the day. So I really appreciate you guys bringing this technology to the market.
Yeah, it is definitely a game changer. Like we have, customers calling us like, thank you, this little robot saved our marriage. And, now we don't have to fight over who's going to scoop the litter box. And it truly is. It's definitely a game changer and a life changer at that.
Yeah. I'm in the natural health field, and to make something work, some type of lifestyle, a new healthy routine, I found it's really about efficiency and making it like automatic, so that you really don't have to think about it, right? Your water filtration is not this elaborate thing. It's already done for you. And so that's what I really like about this, is it's all kind of self-contained, which we'll get into. But the main thing is you never have to scoop ever again, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it does it all for you.
Very cool. So there's other like automatic self-cleaning litter boxes I've seen at the pet store, PetSmart and Petco, that are like in the range of like a couple $100s. And this one, some people are turned off by the price, but this one actually works, right? A lot of those will eventually break down, like the motor fails, I've heard, and stuff like that.
Yes. So another thing too with our product is that we're the only self-cleaning litter box that has customer service too. So if anything does happen with your unit, if urine gets in the motor cavity or anything, we'll stand by our product and replace those parts for you. But they are built to last. Like they are built like rocks. People will call for their first time with an issue and they've had it for 10 years. So it's so efficient, and it's seriously, I wish I would have thought of it.
How long have you guys been around? 10 years. I didn't know that you were that old.
Yeah.
Not like that.
So the litter robot actually came out back in like 2009. We had the first version, the LR1, and then there was the LR2. But the LR3 is what really got us big, and that came out in 2015. Yeah, and then we just launched the Connect, which was in October of 2018, and that also definitely made us grow.
And that's the one that has kind of like Bluetooth connectivity with the phone app, right?
Yes, it has a Wi-Fi board in it, and even our Litterbot users that don't have the Connect version, they can also upgrade to the Connect, which is really cool. They can install the board themselves, and it allows you to remotely use it from your phone. So you download our Litter Robot app, and it will notify you when the waste store is full. It will notify you if the cycle was interrupted, like you didn't put the bonnet on correctly, or if you put too much weight inside of the globe, things like that. So it's really, really convenient for people who work a lot or travel a lot.
Right on. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll just speak a little bit to my first experience when I got it. I set it up and my cat kind of looked at it. Cat Lyra was just like staring at it, like, what is this thing? And, and it took probably about 2 weeks. I don't know where she was going to the bathroom around my cabin, but I did keep my old litter box next to it just in case. But what really helped me was actually acclimating her using her feces from the old litter box. And I actually put that in the litter robot and then adding the ramp. I think it was a combination of those two things, because that's the main complaint I hear from friends or people that use it is, the cat's afraid to jump inside of it.
Right. Yes. Sometimes it does take bribing, or taking that soiled litter like you did and put it in the litter robot for like some familiar scent. But like one customer told me that she actually put the box that the litter bot came in and put it over top of the unit, and then just cut a hole where the entrance of the globe was, because like cats like to play in boxes. So that worked for her. But honestly, 97% of cats do adapt to it really quickly, because it's always providing a clean bed of litter for kitty. So the number one tip that I give customers who have issues with, at first getting their kitties adapted to it is what you did as well, is put the old litter box next to it, and then don't scoop it right away. Let it get dirty, so then the kitty has a choice between a dirty litter box or a clean litter robot.
It's an easy choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find most people get that ramp accessory too? Because for me, that was the game changer. Like, I think the height was just too much for her to jump in.
Yeah, the ramp has a couple different purposes. Not only does it help for, either small kitties or elderly kitties to get inside of the unit, but also has a texture on the steps that allows, for it helps litter collect on that rather than getting tracked on your house or around your house, excuse me. So if kitty has litter that's stuck through his paws and then they jump out, that ramp helps collect it so that it's easier to clean than vacuum around the litter robot all the time.
Yeah.
If your kitties like to jump, jump or kick litter out, but most of the time it's contained right inside the globe.
Super cool. Yeah, I've noticed that there's a lot less mess to clean up. And I just have it in my laundry room here on the first floor of my cabin, and I'll just pick up the ramp, and that's most of the mess, and I'll just shake it right outside my front door.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. That's so cool. So what else makes this different from the other automatic litter boxes besides it just lasting for years and years?
Well, it helps reduce litter box odor. So, kitty jumps in, uses it, it cycles, and the clean litter is swifted and separated away from, separated from the clumps. So the clumps will fall into the waste store. So the waste store is contained right inside the base. So you don't have that, extra odor or anything in the air. And it also has a carbon filter right in the entrance of the globe too that helps contain odor. And it's just so much different because it's really robotic. The other ones you still have to maintain a lot, but this one you just set it up and you don't have to really bother with it unless it's, until it's time to change the waste store. We do recommend giving it a deep cleaning every 4 months or so, but other than that, it's really hands-free. Don't have to worry about much. Most of the other automatic self-cleaning boxes, you have to actually give your attention to almost every day.
I remember those days. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also reduces the amount of litter too, which is is eco-friendly because it's less litter that is being disposed in our waste dumps as well.
Yeah, I definitely notice I'm going through a lot less cat litter, and I'm actually on the auto ship for the litter that you guys sell, and I think it's awesome. It's like clay based, right?
Yes, it's clay based, but it's also sun dried, so it doesn't have any of those added ingredients or any chemicals added to it, and it's 100% sodium bentonite. So even though it's clay based, it's still natural.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can speak to that, going back to the odor thing, because it's really easy to tell a cat owner, especially in an apartment. I mean, I'm even in a big cabin, but every time I went to do laundry with my old litter box, it'd be like I'd have to cover my nose. And even with this top of the line air filter I had, that's dissolving methane in the air, it still wasn't enough because it's just overpowering and it's constantly, going out. So, so the kitty litter, or the litter robot basically sequesters it in that tray and then has that carbon filter. That's like the main ways that it reduces the odor, right? And then every like half hour it sifts it.
No, so after the cat sensor is triggered, the clumps will or the waste will clump for 7 minutes, and you can change it to 3 minutes or 15 minutes, and then that's when it will swift and automatically cycle. You can put it in a sleep mode where it won't automatically cycle for 8 hours at a time, and then it will automatically cycle. And that's for people who have small apartments where the unit's close to their bedroom where they sleep. But yeah, the main reason why it helps with odor is because it's contained in that waste drawer, and also that carbon filter. And then there's also seal strips, fuzzy seal strips that go around the waste porthole, and that also helps contain odor and keep it in the base and in the waste drawer rather than in the air. And both of those can be replaced as needed too.
Oh, right on. Okay, awesome. So 8 hours for the sleep mode. Someone probably needs more if they just partied or something. 8 hours is enough for most people, though.
Right, exactly. And then some people they'll call and be like, "Yeah, I wish you would have the sleep mode on the LR too." They're like, "This motor's so quiet compared to the last one." I'm like, "Yeah, it's true. Like the motor's very, very quiet. So it even if you are worried about that, don't be."
Yeah. Sometimes I'll catch it when it's in the middle of a cleaning cycle, and it's not loud at all. It's pretty, like I could have that in my bedroom, no problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, certainly. It's very quiet.
And so I don't know if you mentioned it. How often does it sift? Is it's after the triggers activated?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So it's not like on it's not like on a time schedule or anything. It only cycles after kitty uses it. So if you have one or two kitties, it'll probably cycle. I mean, it all depends on your diet of your cat, and every cat's different. But I think it'll probably be only like 3 or 4 times, and so that's really convenient. It's especially another thing too with the wait time setting is since I mentioned all diets are different for kitties. So if your kitty has like a wet based diet and their waste is just really really smelly and not dry, you can change the wait time setting to 3 minutes so that it will get rid of it quicker. Or some people like to change it to the 15-minute wait time setting so that it takes more time to clump and absorb that moisture, so that when it does cycle inside of the base, it's actually hard clumps and not nasty moist. And
Got it. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a cool feature. Yeah, I've noticed the odor that a cat, because I've kept different cats and noticed their smell is different. And I think the food really plays a big role. Like I'm really big into the raw food diet for cats and dogs, just raw meat. And when you mix that with dry food, I think there can be some intestinal turbulence, to say the least, or it could actually intensify the smell versus just feeding them the same thing. That's been my experience, but I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my colleague Lori, she writes our blogs for Litter Robot, and she wrote a blog post about raw diets, and she's found some interesting research that advocates say it is biologically appropriate diet for cats because it kind of mimics as what a cat would eat in the wild. But what a lot of pet parents don't realize is that the raw meat does contain E. coli and things like that. So as long as you're sanitizing it really well, it's fine for kitty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keeping their immune system up and
right,
all that. Yeah,
and obviously talking to your vet and everything too.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And how many cats can use it? Is it 2 to 3?
Yeah, so we recommend up to 3 cats per unit. I did have a customer who had like 5 or 6 cats in only one unit, and she said she had no issues with that. She just had to change the waste drawer a little bit more often. So if you want to get away with relaxing, not having to change that waste drawer as often, then I would recommend, every 3 cats a litter robot.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, with just one cat, it's like I think I empty it every week and a half, sometimes even 2 weeks. It's not that often.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. So I know like with 3 cats, you're probably going to be changing it once every 5 days, if that gives you some perspective.
And just with that process, it's pretty much just like I buy your guys' liners, but any of them work, right? And you could just.
Yeah, so our waster liners are great because they're biodegradable and they absorb moisture really, really well. But you can use just regular kitchen trash bags if you want. One customer told me that they use like those barbecue tinfoil bowl things, and he just would reuse those a few times instead of, tossing out a bag every time, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the biodegradable thing for me is huge because you just think about how much, it just adds up with all these people. I like biodegradable trash bags, and just when we can, I think that's the way to go.
Yes, eliminating plastic waste is definitely, I think more people should definitely be paying attention to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as far as cat litter, does any cat litter work in it?
It requires clay clumping litter.
Mhm.
Or I'm sorry, clumping litter. It doesn't necessarily have to be clay. We just recommend clay. But clumping litter will work. We don't recommend um, pellet-based litter because that's hard. The pellets are harder to swift through the net inside of the unit. And then the I'm sorry, the pellet and like the pine, like such as pine, it's harder to swift through the net. Natural litters tend to not absorb the moisture as well as clumping litter, so it doesn't absorb that odor as well. But it's still okay to use in the unit, just not pine based or pellet based.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've had so much experience with all these different natural litters, and I used grass for a while, and then I think I even used like diatomaceous earth, food grade, and there's all these different ideas on how to eliminate odor in the litter box. But I eventually came to the conclusion that it's actually impossible, and the only thing is to have
Yeah.
something like your unit that actually separates, the used litter and then traps it, because otherwise I don't think there's any medium that really eliminates the odor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. And then what, I work with a lot of people that travel a lot and have cats. What recommendations would you have for cat owners, besides the litter box? Like for me, it's like the drinking fountain is really good.
Yeah.
And that has like a little charcoal filter. There's a million of them, but I like the porcelain ones. Um,
Yeah, so I mean, I know we talked about the Connect a little bit. I
mhm.
know, so other than, that of, being notified on your phone, if there's any issues or when the waster is full, I guess some additional tips that I would give is maybe if you have like a cat sitter, to leave them contact information for an emergency vet or their regular vet if needed, and to leave out toys or scratch posts. That's also great to keep your kitties entertained while you're away and you can't play with them. And then just leaving out enough food or water. But yeah, a lot of people nowadays have like the tech homes where they can set up cameras and see their cats while they're away and talk to their cats while they're away. And some people that I recommend that to think I'm just crazy, and then other people are like, oh yeah, like it's so cool. Like I'll yell at my cat for being up on the counter and they're looking around looking for me, and I'm across America.
That's so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so interesting. I have a lot of friends that are, diehard dog lovers too, and I think dogs are cool, but it's they're so different, right? And
Oh
some
yeah.
people think like, oh, cats are independent and they don't care if you're there or not, but cats definitely have different personalities. And when I'm gone for like 3 days and I come home, she's waiting at the door and she's like crying, meowing, and rubbing up on me for like 10 minutes. And I could tell she definitely missed me, so yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't have that yet, I would I think there was one called like Tan I saw on Amazon, and it's just like a little camera that you set up in your house so you can like watch and talk to them right from your phone. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah, right on. Yeah, I recently found, what is this? It's I went to a natural products expo, and they had a cat booth with all these natural products. It was kind of cool. And I found cat training tape, because my cat was actually scratching up my infrared sauna. It's like hemlock wood, so she was using that as the scratching post. And so, in addition to giving them a scratching post, the cat training tape is really helpful.
That's cool. Oh, and wait, did you just say you had a sauna?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're health nuts over here, so we have all the crazy stuff. My cat actually goes in the sauna with me. It's pretty cool. I just make sure to open the door and give her air.
That's awesome.
She's my companion.
Aw.
Awesome. Well, do we miss anything, Natalie? Because I think that pretty well covered it. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or?
I mean, just for the listeners out there who don't have one and you're on the fence, just know it does come with a 90-day return policy and an 18-month warranty. You can also extend the warranty for a total of 3 years. So, definitely give us a chance and give us a call because it really will change your life. I can guarantee that.
I can guarantee that too. Yeah, I think I just bought the regular Litter Robot 3, and I was kind of on the fence about the price, and then
it's so worth it.
So worth it. A couple of weeks after I got it, I'm like, wow, this just freed up so much time.
Yeah, and we also have financing options too as well. But and then for you too, Matt, if you travel a lot, I would recommend upgrading to the Connect because it's a really cool feature.
Awesome. Right on. Well, if you want to hang on the show, I'm going to close it out. Thanks so much for coming on, Natalie.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope you guys liked that. And now we'll jump into the Q&A because Natalie's actually not a cat owner, and that's fine. But we had some questions from my friends that I would like to answer. So someone asked natural flea care and allergy care. So I think the environment is really important for both you and your pet. And I think the pet, either your dog or your cat, it's a good canary in the coal mine. It's a good way to see how healthy your environment is. So I would go back and listen to my first episode with David Milburn on the hypoallergenic air filters. Those are huge for pet owners, whether cat or dog. That helps a lot, and that will really take the burden off your pet's immune system because all those synthetic volatile organic compounds, the VOCs emitting from the flame retardants and the carpeting and the couch and the paint on the wall and the plastics, and both ourselves and our animals are getting hit hard. So I think the air is often overlooked. Of course, open the windows when you can, get as much natural light in as you can. And I was actually interviewed on my friend's podcast, Frenchie Fantasy, and we spoke on this, on how to keep a pet's immune system up. And for me, it's about getting them grounded to the earth, some type of magnetism, and have them get sun exposure. And usually cat owners, have to keep their cats inside and they don't have a little catio, but try to make it work. Sunlight, magnetism, and good water. That's really what I focus on for cats and dogs to keep their immune system up. And drinking water is often overlooked. If they are drinking tap water, please get them off of that ASAP and get them on even bottled. Ideally, you fill up jugs at one of those machines, reverse osmosis machines. Even better, you find a water store and fill up there. Even better, you have a reverse osmosis system installed, a couple $100 under your sink, and you give them that water. I think the water is so big. My cat personally only gets distilled water, and she loves it. And I think that's keeping her healthy because there's only so much we can do with the food unless they're on a 100% raw meat diet, which is called the BARF diet, biologically appropriate raw food diet, which I actually heard from my friend Justin first of Extreme Health Radio. And that was a really interesting episode to listen to. So our pets are just getting hit hard, just like we are with the environmental toxins, the food, and the water. So just go through each of those and improve it. And you should see an alleviation of allergies like this person mentioned, or more of a resistance to fleas. But on the flea topic, I really like food grade diatomaceous earth. And if you use pillows on your bed, do a double pillowcase and put diatomaceous earth over the first pillowcase and then put the second one on the opposite way. And a lot of these larvae of the fleas, they are reactive to light and you can actually shred their exoskeleton. It basically dehydrates them with diatomaceous earth. And if it's food grade, it's relatively safe. And, you can wear a mask if you like, but just make sure it's well ventilated when you're applying it. And I also like to put it under the mattress too, because there's a lot of critters, not just fleas, but bed bugs and who knows what, that lives beneath our mattress, with sweat and stuff, depending on quality of the mattress. There's so many factors, but diatomaceous earth is just a very effective, very affordable way to deal with a lot of these creatures. I also want to mention onlynaturalpet.com. I'll put the link below. They have a lot of great articles and products. They have one called Natural Flea Control Methods that I really like. And as far as hairballs, we also had a question with that. They have a product called Hairball Chewables, and that's worked for previous cats of mine really well. And it's a relatively clean product and doesn't use laxatives, which is pretty unique. So just a really cool website, Only Natural Pet. Someone else asked what types of food and when to feed. So I've tried different brands, and it's funny, it's kind of a heated topic. I would say just avoid, the big chain pet stores that you find, because you're not going to find quality food in there. You might find quality toys that are great, but the food is generally garbage. You have to order that online, or you have to find actual natural pet food store. So that would be my first recommendation, is just find a natural pet food store and really pick their brain and look through the ingredients and see what they offer. Really practical solution is a brand that I found called I and Love and You. It's called Naked Essentials Grain-Free Dry Cat Food. You can find it on Amazon. It's actually on my Amazon store. I would say the key with feeding cats is, contrary to what we saw in cartoons, they are not meant to be eating a lot of fish. And so that contains omega-3s, which are toxic to all animals, not just humans, but also your cat. And so I would look for a recipe that doesn't use salmon or trout, and look for ones more chicken, duck, squirrel in the wild. A cat in the wild would generally eat squirrel, small animals. It's not going to, a domestic cat is not going to hunt, fish. Just doesn't really make sense. So I like the affordability of this product. I like that it's mostly meat. And yeah, unfortunately, they have a little bit of, flax seeds and stuff in there, but it's a good start. And a big thing I'm a fan of is Great Lakes gelatin. I also have that on my Amazon store under my cat page, and I'll link that below. But Great Lakes gelatin, it's the orange canister of gelatin. That is excellent to sprinkle on your cat's wet food. And my cat loves the I and Love and You wet food as well. So I'll give her that, and then sometimes raw meat, and just kind of change it up. But unless you're with your cat 24/7 or you have a sitter, the hard truth is it's impossible to have them on a 100% raw meat diet, because you have to be there to change it out. So as far as practicality goes, I really like I and Love and You. But beyond that, just find a natural pet food store and source it that way, and just try different brands and see how it works for your cat. But I still go back to the environment. What is your cat's artificial light exposure? Is it under really harsh CFL lights? Is it in a dirty electricity environment with a lot of just cell towers and all sorts of stuff going on? And the magnetism piece is so big. And the water, what kind of water is your pet drinking? These are way before the food, just as it is in humans. And so I just launched mitolife.co, and you can check out my information on dirty electricity there. In a future interview, you can listen to me chatting with Dave Stetzer, the inventor of these filters. It's very real. It's very harmful. It has to do with AC to DC switching back and forth. Long story short, basically, there are these fluctuations in the wall that generate excess energy, and that permeates the entire room. and affects the pH of the saliva, cats and humans. It affects our immune system. It affects our energy, our mental state, our mood, all of it. So I would say really just dial in your environment, and both you and your cat will benefit, and they'll probably be able to resist a lot of these things that my friends are talking about here. So that's it for the show. I'm going to put the link below if you want to purchase the litter robot and you save a little bit, and it also supports the show. Check out my website, matt-blackburn.com, for all of my recommended products. Check out mitolife.co for dirty electricity filters and other products that I personally use and support. This is my brand line of products that I'm really passionate about. And also, if you enjoy the show, please subscribe and leave a review, and definitely share it with your friends. That helps out a lot. Today's quote is by Mark Twain. Of all God's creatures, there is only one that cannot be made slave to the leash. That one is the cat. If man could be crossed with the cat, it would improve the man, but it would deteriorate the cat.